they're not helping us.
He was quite debilitated. I hadn't seen him in a while,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
bad.
really in
Yeah.
pretty bad shape, and you
Yeah.
guys deserve someplace to be.
Yeah.
You got charged with retail fraud in the third degree, actually second degree. It's alleged you were at Menards and you stole some property worth $94.93. But you have a previous conviction, making that a second or subsequent offense, which makes it retail fraud in the second degree. Prosecutors agreed to reduce that to a charge of retail fraud in the third degree, which is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500, rather than a year in jail and $1,000. They're also asking for $94.93 for the restitution, and they're recommending no jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Other than that, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No, Your Honor.
or threaten you?
No, Your Honor.
Were you in here when I went through the advice of rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you didn't, I was willing to do it again. All right. Were you in the Menards store on November 17th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's take a look at this. We get some cases from Menards. Some merchants send us none. I don't remember the last time we had a Home Depot case. Dispatch to Menards had an ongoing problem with 3 subjects stealing stuff. Showed me 2 photographs. What do you need, Luke? Cassandra Stratton and you. And you guys took some flashlights, headlamps, took them in the bathroom, and then left on your bikes. Tell me what happened.
I didn't leave on a bike. I left on foot. They stopped her and talked to her. She said later on, they never stopped me or nothing.
Was this when you were living at the homeless camp?
This is a little bit before that.
Okay. And you were taking this stuff to resell, or did you need headlamps?
Well, staying on 4th Street at a house that had been, it was embarrassing.
You were in the burned out house?
Well, it was boarded up and everything. It wasn't, and then they removed us. It was her home, but Rosalind Bourne or whatever her name is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was lying in a burned out basement with the full moon in my eyes. All right, I remember that house, and I remember that you'd been struggling, and so you took this stuff with this other lady, and now you're accepting responsibility for that.
Your Honor.
Did they take you to jail?
No, they bonded out right there.
They posted $100 a bond. That'll cover the restitution. Where are you now?
My friend who brought me today I'm in Kalamazoo, and I'm trying to get into the mission. I was here the other day with the homeless thing, talking to you with the Kellys.
Yes.
But my husband is obviously disabled, and the mission and Keystone are telling us that they're not equipped for him, so they're not helping us.
He was quite debilitated. I hadn't seen him in a while,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
bad.
really in pretty bad shape, and you
Yeah.
guys deserve someplace to be.
Yeah, we've been.
He can't
trying,
be
but-
living in a tent,
Mhm.
and he can't be. Is anybody helping you with this?
She does back there, helps me tremendously get to doctors and stuff.
But I mean, any agency like
No,
DHS or,
No, DHS, he don't get food stamps because it's Social Security. They give me food stamps, but they went to homeless shelter and they denied me both because they're not equipped for him.
well, he's not. He needs something better. But you're not doing well. You got $225 worth of other unpaid fines and costs. You got an old retail fraud from 2019 where you still owe $60. You got a trespass and some other stuff. $75 crime victims' rights fee, $75 fine, $50 state minimum fee. I'm going to waive the attorney fee. $95 restitution to Menards. That's $295 minus $100 of bond. At least we'll have to have enough to pay Menards. So you go 195. I want to do a payment plan on all cases. Still owe me some money on a couple of them. Putting you in jail won't fix it. But you guys have been going in there stealing, and you went in there one time too many, and they're like, here they are again. And that's not a way to get through life. If you were in jail, Mr. Kelly's got no one to help him. So where are you in Kalamazoo? Just on the street? That's not good. They can't get you in the mission there either?
No,
Well, we ought to have some resources for, have you gone to Hope United or any of the other
I
places?
reached out to, the homeless research place,
Yes.
and, right now they don't even have the funds, because they're trying to pay the rent to their building or something like that.
Yeah, she was doing that mostly on her own. Is that you?
No.
She was doing a lot of that.
Yeah, she's
Just-
trying. I mean, I know the lady, like, she's an amazing person. She just trying to get things.
Well,
gave us food
where
and
she
stuff.
was doing it wasn't zoned for it, but she was trying to do good
Best she
work.
could, yeah, and she gives us food. She does, and she gave me a jacket.
All right, well, this is a sad story without a good ending, but you go out there and sign up for the payment plan on all of your open cases.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yep, thank you.
All right, our next case is a second hearing in the matter of Village Manor Apartments versus Ashley Tice. This was filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. We were here last week on March 24th. Other counsel from the Cox Law Firm was here, but today we have Carrie Zanin. Lori Cousineau, the manager, was here, and Ashley Tice was here. Actually, this was bumped out Monday. Anyway, we lost a day somewhere.
I have an update.
All right, let me finish my note.
Okay.
I got a letter about 2 minutes before I walked into court from Ashley Tice that I have here in front of me. What's your update, Ms. Anna?
I just got a message just 2 minutes ago from my client that, because when I left my desk and the file, it showed that she hadn't gone into the office. I'm being told that she did come into the office, and a fax came back that she hasn't been working. So what I show that she owes is $45.35 plus court costs of $185. So not the $5,000 I showed originally.
Well, that's a significant difference.
Yes.
Ms. Tice, you sent me a letter talking about all of your hardships. And some of this I know. I had handled some of those other cases that you're referring to. But they've recalculated your arrearage, and through April, it's $45.35. Is that agreeable with you, Ms. Tice? Ms. Tice, can you hear me? Hopefully you heard it. You just got a $5,000 surprise. Let's add that up. 45.35 plus 185. 230.35.
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Bauer, I think this case is about to be a lot less eventful than I thought it was going to be. I can go ahead and put you and Ms. Zaretz in the breakout room and let you start your discussion with her.
Thank you, Judge. And for what it's worth, well, that matches roughly what I had figured out in that case. So.
All right, very good.
See what happens when we're both in the courtroom, Judge?
Yes, that's very helpful.
Mary, I was going to call you, or I thought about calling you on the case, but it was somebody else from.
Always
Yeah,
call me on these
so
cases,
Alex.
because eventually these are going to be if I'm not here in the first hearing, I'm going to be here in the second. So just call me.
Once they become a problem, they give them to her. So, all right. All right. Ms. Zaretz, hit the button that says join.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Ms. Tice was there, then she wasn't, then she was back, and she's out there, but the numbers are certainly significantly different. And Ms. Cousineau, what is her rent now?
She is a zero renter. Yeah, she came in yesterday at 4 o'clock and I just got the facts back like 2
All
minutes ago.
right, well, nothing like waiting till the last minute.
Exactly.
Ms. Tice, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I'm sorry.
All right, let me call the case because we never did within your hearing. This is file 24231 LT Village Manor versus Tice. We're here on March 24th and we continue the matter until today, April 5th. When we were last here, the arrearage was alleged to be $5,249.35. She was going to go in and meet with management at Village Manor, which she finally did yesterday at 4 o'clock. They've recalculated your arrearage and it's $45.35 through March with $185 in court costs, which is the filing fee, service fee, and the attorney fee. So the total owed is not $5,249, it's $230.35. Does that sound more accurate to you, Ms. Tice?
Yes, it does, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, that's due. Now, I see you've also asked for assistance. They're much more likely to give you $230 of assistance than they are $5,500 worth. So the rent through April is $45.35. Court costs are $185. The total is $230.35, due within 10 days from today, which would be April 15th, same day your taxes are due. I want you, as soon as you get the judgment, to share it with these people you've asked for assistance from. Your rent is now zero, so there's not going to continue to be an arrearage, but we're going to need to get this paid up or you could be subject to being evicted. They don't have to evict you on April 15th. It's probably not likely that they're going to, but you have 56 days from today that they can ask for the writ. So ideally, you should attempt to pay this within the next 10 days, either with your own funds or through some assistance. Ms. Zanna, will you provide me with an order?
I will, Judge. I'll send it to you in just a few minutes.
All right. Now, Ms. Tice, if for any reason you do move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. If you stay there and you can't pay the entire rent, the only thing that'll cure this is paying the entire amount. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction, but it shows good faith to your landlord. If you're making some payments, they're likely to work with you to get caught up on this. I don't think their goal is to get you evicted. Their goal is to get squared away here.
Yes.
So I'm going to send you a copy of that in the mail. I'll sign it as soon as I get it.
Okay.
But let me repeat, $45.35 is the only amount of arrearage, $185 in court costs for a total of $230.35 due in 10 days. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, stay in contact with your manager. Part of the problem is you didn't show up till yesterday at 4 o'clock, the day before the hearing, and we talked about this like 12 days ago. So make sure you keep your manager apprised as to what's going on here.
I was waiting to hear back something from my lawyer because I wasn't sure. I don't know. I just wanted to hear from my lawyer. He just called me right before this meeting though, or this hearing.
Who was your lawyer?
May something. It's the same person that was in the last hearing, the
No,
legal
Meg
aid.
Bauer. Meg Bauer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she was here. She's talking with another client. Okay, she came to the same calculation that they did, so that's why I let her go, so she could speak to the other people. All
Okay.
right, thank you.
Great.
I hope things get better for you. Having zero rent is certainly a blessing.
It is a
Um,
blessing.
All right, you're all free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
All
Have a
right,
wonderful
thank you.
weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I always have to shift gears. It takes 3 times as long to do everything with the help of an interpreter, but we're gonna segue into just regular English language cases. And we're gonna deal with our custody defendant, Mr. Jacob Orsi. Good morning, Mr. Orsi.
Good morning, Your Honor.
This is file 24274 SM, People versus Jacob Orsi. Mr. Orsi, the complaint alleges that on or about February the 10th, that you assaulted Ashley Williams, someone you had a relationship with, and did cause an aggravated injury. That's charged as aggravated domestic assault, punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Second count is domestic violence, second offense. There are 2 counts of that. You've been in jail for 14 days. Do you have a hold on you from another jurisdiction?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Where's that from?
LaGrange County.
What I read here is the defendant's gonna plead to aggravated domestic violence, DV second, and the prosecutors recommended a 35-day sentence cap. Is that correct?
Yeah, it will be no contest. So essentially pleading count 1, count 2.
Okay. Those are each punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Let's talk about no contest. By pleading no contest, you don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny what happened, and you will allow or accept that a conviction would enter. You understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Is that what you wish to do here?
Yes, I do.
What's the charge in LaGrange?
It's a probation violation,
On the what charge?
possession.
Of meth?
Yes.
You look good now. You've been in jail for 14 days, so it helps you get your equilibrium back. But you look clear-headed and clear-eyed, and I think you're doing this of your own volition. Other than the plea agreement stated here, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No, I did not, Your Honor.
or threaten you?
No.
All right, by pleading no contest, I don't take the factual basis from you. I will take it from the affidavit of probable cause, which is sworn to by the officer. So let me. Josh Wired of the Sturgis Police Department says they went to the emergency room where they found Ashley Williams severe bruising on her calf, ankle, and ribs. She was very frightened of you, so she said somebody else did it. And then they said that your boyfriend had been assaulting her for several months, but she was too afraid to report the assaults. The friend says she's afraid that he's going to end up killing her. Jason had punched, kicked, and choked her. She had to go to the emergency room. And then they spoke to Ashley, and she also confirmed that that's what happened. So that's a sufficient factual basis, even though it's unpleasant. I'm gonna order 35 days, credit 35 days. I see why you took this plea. This could have been a year in jail kind of case. You have credit 14, leaving 21 days to serve. I'm gonna waive everything but the state minimum costs. 125 or 2 additional days. That's on count 1. On count 2, I'm gonna order the same thing. Concurrent. What's underlying this is methamphetamine. Nobody acts like that. Just plain old evil meanness. 35 days, credit 14, leaving 21 days to serve, concurrent with count 1. Now, you've also got an old case, assault and battery, where you never paid the fine. I'm gonna wipe that out. 22546SM.
Thank you, Judge.
When you go to Indiana, you can hopefully be done with everything here. You got some unpaid booking fees, but I'm not gonna worry about that. In that case, you were to pay $275 by November 28th of last year. You didn't make any payment. So I'm gonna order 14 days credit, 14 days, wipe that out. Wipe out the fine. Concurrent with this case, 24274 SM. So Mr. Orsi, there's a couple of booking fees, but they're not anything to be concerned about, but this wipes out everything you've got here. 21 days will be less than that. It'll probably be about 18, and you can go to Indiana and deal with your problem there. But you need some forced clean time and you're looking better for it. I didn't like reading this at all. And there's not even much more to say about it. But they'll take you back to jail. I went within the cap recommended by the prosecutor and this matter's completed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There it is. Neri Felipe Mazargos, charged with operating while intoxicated, impeding traffic, and driving while a suspended license. Is that you, sir?
Señor, ¿usted es el señor Neri Mazariagos?
Sí.
Yes.
This is Ms. Vivian Montero.
Esta es la señora Vivian Montero.
She is an interpreter.
Ella es una intérprete.
And she works here in our court quite often to help me.
Y ella trabaja en el tribunal muy seguido para ayudarme.
I'm going to ask her to swear an oath to translate truthfully.
Voy a pedir que preste juramento para interpretar de manera fiel.
And then we'll begin. Do you swear or affirm to the best of your ability you will interpret these matters from Spanish into English and English into Spanish?
I do.
And would you state your name, please?
Vivian Montero, Court Interpreter 18369.
Mr. Bush, your lawyer, informed me
Licenciado Bush, su abogado me informó que
that we're going to have to continue this case to another day.
tenemos que aplazar este caso a otra fecha.
As part of the investigation in this case, the police took your blood.
Como parte de la investigación en este caso, la policía le mandó a sacar sangre.
And it's been sent to the State Police Crime Laboratory for analysis.
Y lo han mandado al laboratorio para un análisis, al laboratorio estatal.
To determine whether there was alcohol or other drugs in your system.
Para determinar si había alcohol u otras sustancias reguladas en su sistema.
And that report has not come back yet.
No hemos recibido el informe todavía.
So neither the prosecutor or your lawyer
Ni el fiscal ni el abogado de usted
are prepared to fully discuss this case without having all the facts.
no pueden discutir el caso sin tener todos los hechos.
So they're going to ask me to continue this matter for another pretrial.
Me han pedido que aplace esta audiencia para otra fecha, otra preconsulta ante el juicio.
So I have no objection if you do it on a Friday or move it to a Thursday.
Well, we'll put it on a Thursday afternoon. Let's see if I can see when you're here.
Vamos a hacerlo por un jueves por la tarde. Déjeme ver cuándo el licenciado va a estar.
Is Thursday, May 2nd work for you?
Jueves 2 de
2
mayo. ¿Funciona para el licenciado?
Bear with me a minute, please.
Sure. I know we got phone problems here. Good morning.
What time, Your Honor?
2 o'clock.
Yes, I'm doing, well, yeah, some abuse and neglect. That may be in Three Rivers at 1 o'clock, so, but we'll have to figure out how that works.
We'll do the best we can.
I'm in the area.
Okay. How about if we set it for 2:30?
That would, I think, would make it more doable. Thank you.
We're opening a new courthouse in Three Rivers So the first time in the history of St. Joe County, we're gonna have a annex courthouse. But it means the lawyers are gonna have to be two places at once.
And mine may very well be Zoom, if there's I think there isn't gonna be a Zoom station here, so I might be able to do it from, but we'll find out.
All right, well, Vivian, let's advise the defendant that he has to be here on Thursday, May 2nd at 2:30.
Señor, usted tiene que regresar nuevamente al tribunal el 2 de mayo a las 2:30 de la tarde.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you still living at the same address?
¿Usted vive en la misma dirección?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Why don't you take this and put that on your refrigerator?
Tome esa notificación y no se le olvide, que lo pegue a la nevera para que no se lo va a olvidar.
I will see you on Thursday, May 2nd.
Le volveré a ver el día jueves 2 de mayo a las 2:30.
This is file 232425SM. You're Gary Everstein.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Everstein, you got charged with obstructing a police officer by disguise and retail fraud in the second degree. Let's look those up. It's alleged that you were at Walmart, #1 stealing place in St. Joe County is Walmart and Three Rivers. And you took some property worth more than 200, but less than 1,000. And I'm not sure what this disguise was about. Both of those are misdemeanors punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Prosecutor has agreed to reduce both of those to a charge of retail fraud in the third degree, 1 count, which is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. They've agreed to defer the sentence, set it out about 90 days, and have you do our retail fraud deferral program. And if you do that, the charge would be dismissed and there would be no criminal charge on your record as a result of this incident. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I went through the advice of rights just a minute ago. Do you understand you have all those same rights?
Yes, sir.
Other than the plea agreement here, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, did you mention that restitution is part of the plea?
4172.
Yes.
This is a common thing that I rail against, underscanning. But according to this, you got some jumper cables and you put a Nerf toy sticker on it. And the jumper cables were worth $45 and the sticker was worth $3.15, which leaves a shortfall of $41 and some. Do you understand?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Is that what happened?
No, I grabbed him. I was in a hurry. I just got out of work, just got paid until Friday. You know what I mean? And I put $100 in the machine and grabbed my change, threw it in there with the receipt in the bag and walked out.
All right, is this the only thing you bought?
Yeah, that's the only thing I bought. So I didn't even notice like how much change I got out of the machine.
What do you do, sir?
Construction,
Who do you work for?
all trades in Chipswana, but I'm working in Elkhart right now.
What do they do?
Build factory.
Is that an Amish shop?
Kinda. He used to be honest.
Hey, there it is.
The first report's more about the disguise, the second supplemental is the retail fraud. And then we have a copy of the receipt, Your Honor, that indicates that he paid with a $10 bill
Yeah.
for jumper cables that would have normally cost $45 almost. Not a $100 bill.
I think we can craft a little bit more of a basis relating to kind of recklessly.
Well, I want him to tell me the truth. I'm inclined to like just have her withdraw the plea deal and just give you about 90 days in jail. It's one thing to be a thief. It's another thing to be a liar. And a
Yeah.
thief.
I was just in a hurry that day. I was like I said.
All right, so,
my vehicle broke down.
okay, now, then you gave him a false name and,
There's a bit of an explanation for the false name, if you'd like to hear it, Your Honor. Mr. Eberstein was adopted. He was born as Gary Engelmeyer,
all right,
was adopted as a child, and kind of uses both names, and he actually provides that as part of a registry. that he's
okay,
listed on.
got you
And
there,
I
all
was
right.
trying to talk to the officer, he just wouldn't hear anything I had to say.
Well, that charge is being dismissed.
Correct.
So let's take a look at the other part. I wish I would have been more with it with Miss Comer because she's got a bunch of unpaid stuff. The other report hasn't got here yet. Did you send me two?
No, just one, and they're both in the same.
All right, let's take a look. Well, it's all being dismissed if you hold up your end of the deal, but I understand perhaps the confusion about the name. You don't carry any ID?
Yeah, it was out in the car, and so I was trying to tell him I'd go get it if he'd let me, and he wasn't hearing nothing I had to say, not a word.
Use a $10 bill.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're in this up to your eyeballs, but I'll do the deferral. You didn't use a $100 bill, you used a $10 bill to buy a $45 set of jumper cables that you didn't have enough money for. So,
Okay, it's gonna help.
all right, let's set this out for sentencing. We do have $100 of bond, that's a plus. Set it for July 8 at 10:30. I want you to do the economic crime class, pay $42 restitution to Walmart from bond, 10 hours of community service. You're barred from Walmart. You'd also pay your traffic ticket, which is 212,089. I don't think you have a valid license. Do you have your license back?
yes, Your Honor.
In the old days, it wouldn't have given you your license back with multiple unpaid tickets. I want you to pay that. All right, now let me repeat. If you hold up your end of the deal, this charge is going to be dismissed.
Yes, sure.
If you don't, we can proceed to sentencing at that time.
Okay.
I want you to take this form out to the counter. They may send you downstairs to the probation department to get plugged into the economic crime class and the community service.
Okay.
Thank you, Melissa, for your help with those.
Take care, make sure you get that stuff done.
I will.
Like.
Don't wait till, no, I won't try to do it now.
Well, you don't have to pay the restitution. We'll take that out of your bond,
Okay,
but I want you to pay those tickets.
oh, yeah,
Would you be okay?
All right, you're good to go.
yeah, that's fine,
Mr. Eberstein would forfeit any other bond balance to apply toward his
yeah.
Well, I'm holding on to that for this one.
holding on to it until sentencing.
Yeah, because he's gonna get some fine or sanction and he's gotta pay for the economic crime class. We can take that from bond. All right, you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. War. You're here with your lawyer, Mr. John Bush. And you're charged with operating while intoxicated. We've had several of these today. This happened in White Pigeon. Operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Prosecutors agreed to reduce this to a lesser charge of impaired driving. I don't know if you were in here when I described that. It's a misdemeanor. It's better for several reasons. Carries a lower fine, $300 maximum, up to 93 days in jail. 4 points on your driving record, but allows you to keep a restricted driver's license so you can drive back and forth to work, school, treatment, other limited purposes. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
You were in here when I went through the advice of rights a little earlier. Do you understand you're giving all those rights up? By entering this plea, there won't be any trial?
Yes, sir.
Let me take a look at this.
We'll be doing this on the PBT today. It was
All right.
0.16.
You got pulled over in US 12 and 131 right at the main 4 in White Pigeon on October 6th. Where were you going?
Get home
From where?
from a friend's house.
Where was the friend's house?
I don't remember exactly what section of town it was in.
But from White Pigeon?
Yes, sir.
You live in Three Rivers?
Yes, I do.
You work down there someplace?
White Pigeon.
Or like trailer factories or something? How'd you have to be in White Pigeon?
I was visiting a friend.
Okay,
He works in American Axle.
oh, okay. And what were you drinking?
A bottle of green tea liquor.
And your blood test was a 0.16 on the PBT?
Yes, sir.
This was 1:22 in the morning. It's right in front of the state police post. There's nobody in the state police post much anymore, but. Do you know why they pulled you over?
My car died in the middle of the highway.
Well, that'll do it. At least you didn't hurt yourself or somebody else, and that's good. How long have you been at American Axle?
3.5 years.
Good for you. What shift are you on?
Third.
So you're not missing work right now? You just been up all night?
Yes.
All right, well, we're gonna go with the same thing. I'm gonna set this for sentencing on. John, did I just set you for one?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, let's try May 6th. Does that work for you? Monday, May 6th.
Oh, we said pre-trial, you know, but we didn't send any sentence.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Bear with me just a
11.
moment. At what time, Your Honor?
11.
That looks fine.
All right. How big was this bottle of green tea? Was it like a big thing or just like a?
From 20-ounce bottle.
All right, I'll look into that. I'm not familiar with that. All right, I'm gonna give you this form, ask the bailiffs to take you out to the court office. You'll come in and meet with the probation department earlier that morning, about 9 or 9:30, and we'll come in the courtroom oops, that's May 6th. All right, Mr. Warren, take this scratched up form I just did out to the counter, and I will see you on May 6th. That's a Monday. And we'll deal with it at that time. Thank you. Good morning, we're back. We suspended the record for a moment. We took a short recess and we've got plenty of work to do. We've got about 10 cases lined up to resolve. And so I hope you're all still with us, all the people at the assisted living facility in South Bend and others who regularly watch. Thank you for being here. All right. This is file number 24308OD. You're Elizabeth Laura Hatfield.
Yes, sir.
I met you at your arraignment. You're here with your attorney, Sarissa Montag. You're charged with operating while intoxicated and a civil infraction of refusing a preliminary breath test. Your lawyer and the lawyers at her law firm are very good at getting people into the services they need before we do the sentence. The prosecutor has agreed to reduce this to a charge of impaired driving. And we expect that we'll be setting this for a plea and sentence. In the meantime, they'll probably be having you doing some things, victim impact panel, evaluation, that sort of thing, which is helpful. So we're going to set for plea and sentence. You've been waiting all morning for us to take a break so we could determine this. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Sarissa, are you available on Monday, May 13th at 11?
Yes, Judge.
All right. This is like doing things in advance. Does that date work for you?
Is there a possibility of a Wednesday instead of a Monday?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's all right. How about Wednesday, May 15th at 11?
That works for me.
All right, Ms. Montag, I'll ask you if you would take the defendant out, get the paperwork regarding scheduling, pre-screening and sentencing. And we'll do it on Wednesday, May 15th.
I will do that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sarissa, how are you doing with your new courthouse?
It's beautiful.
I understand that. You got a place to park?
I walk from my office. No, there's literally, there's zero parking. I'm not sure how they go. House with no parking. But there's none.
That's what I hear.
I walk from my office too, but that's gonna be changing. Half
You
my
have the-
cases will be driving back to Three Rivers.
She has the shortest commute of all of our legal, other than the people in the building. 22546 SM A and B. What?
When is the new courthouse?
Well, theoretically in May, they're very close to, they say they're on schedule. There are always some delays that can happen, but
Lesson learned. Truly, truly lesson learned. I got custody of my grandson. I have not even seen her. That was an image.
all right, are you Zavial Justine Johnson?
Yes.
You're here with your attorney Lori Hines. I'm going to stop the live feed for a moment. I'm gonna leave the record on. We'll be back in